listener to the crystal cave of calm waters, a soothing and enchanting audio experience designed to guide you towards a peaceful and restful sleep. If you enjoy this journey and would like to discover more stories like it, please do take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Before we embark on Anya's quest to discover the legendary Crystal Cave, we'll begin with a gentle breathing guidance to help you relax and prepare for the journey ahead. If you prefer to skip directly to the story, you can find the timestamps for each chapter in the description below. Now, find a comfortable position, whether lying in your bed or settled into your favourite chair. Allow your body to sink into the surface beneath you, feeling fully supported and at ease. Adjust your pillow or blankets to create a space that feels warm, safe and cosy. This is your time to let go of the day and to invite calm and quiet into your evening. Let the gentle murmuring of the cave and the soft rhythmic flow of the water wash over you, carrying you into a state of deep relaxation. Our journey is about finding the peace that lies within the simple moments. Let's begin by taking a few deep breaths together. Gently inhale through your nose, allowing the air to fill your lungs slowly and easily. Imagine the fresh air of the forest, scented with earth and moss, filling your body with a sense of calm. Then, exhale gently through your mouth like a soft sigh of relief. With each breath, feel your body softening and releasing any tension. Let any worries or concerns drift away, like leaves gently floating down a stream. Visualize the soft light of the crystal cave and the clear, calm waters that flow within. Allow these images to fill your mind with serenity. If your mind begins to wander, that's perfectly alright. Just let your thoughts drift by like clouds in a peaceful sky, and gently return your focus to your breathing or to the sound of my voice. There is nothing you need to do now except listen and allow the story of Anya and her wise owl, Athena, to guide you into rest. Feel the gentle pulse of the water, the steady rhythm of life within the cave. Let it wash away any remaining anxieties and prepare you for a journey into the heart of calm. We'll be stepping into a world where nature's magic is real and the most powerful force is tranquility. Now, let us begin our journey to the crystal cave of calm waters. Chapter 1. Echoes of Unease. The village of Oakhaven, nestled beside the Whispering Woods, was usually a place of soft laughter and easy smiles. The cobblestone streets, worn smooth by time and countless footsteps, would hum with the sounds of daily life, children's games, the rhythmic thud of the baker's dough, and the gentle banter of neighbours sharing stories over steaming mugs of herbal tea. But lately, a subtle unease had begun to settle over Oakhaven like a heavy fog, muting the once vibrant sounds and replacing them with a hushed murmur of worry. The usual cheerful bustle of the market had been replaced by whispered conversations, and the laughter of the children now seemed to carry a hint of anxious fragility. Even the familiar scent of warm bread from the bakery seemed less comforting. Anya, a woman whose life was usually as steady and unwavering as the ancient trees surrounding the village, felt the shift in the air like a discordant note in a familiar melody. Her eyes, usually alight with a quiet warmth, now carried As a seasoned explorer, she had journeyed to many remote and wondrous corners of the world, yet even her experienced heart found itself unsettled by the pervasive anxiety gripping the village. Sleepless nights had become commonplace, the worries of the world seeping into her own peaceful slumber. It felt, she thought, as if the very earth itself was sighing with unease. She knew this was not simply a fleeting mood and felt compelled to look for answers. Late one afternoon, as the sun began its gentle descent, casting long shadows across her study, Anya sought solace in the dusty pages of ancient texts. The scent of old parchment and beeswax candles filled the air, usually a source of great comfort. As her fingers traced the faded ink, she searched for guidance, for a remedy to the growing disquiet that had enveloped the village. Athena, her ever-faithful companion, a magnificent snowy owl with eyes like pools of molten gold, perched silently upon the back of an old wooden chair. She observed Anya's careful study with an air of understanding and gentle patience. Athena's soft preening ruffled her feathers, adding a quiet, rhythmic sound to the room. The stories of old spoke of a legendary crystal cave, a sanctuary deep within the Whispering Mountains, where waters flowed with an inherently calming magic. This was not a place of boisterous sorcery, but a refuge of gentle serenity. It was said that the melodies carried by the water held the power to soothe even the most troubled hearts and ease the most anxious minds. The stories described the cave as a place where peace was not simply found, but a constant, enveloping presence. The thought of such a refuge, not just for herself but for the entire village, filled Anya with a growing sense of purpose. She closed the old text with a soft thump, a gentle smile forming on her lips. Anya rose and moved over to her map case. The case was leather and soft with age. She unrolled the aged maps with her hands, and a soft scratching sound was heard throughout the room. As they unfurled on the table, each stroke of her fingers across the maps felt reassuring, each mark, trail, and path familiar. Athena, sensing Anya's resolve, hopped from the chair to perch on her outstretched arm. Anya gently stroked her soft white feathers. "It is time, old friend," she whispered, her voice soft, almost a breath. "We have a journey to undertake, one that will be filled with peaceful discoveries and the promise of serenity." Anya moved to her wardrobe to retrieve her travelling cloak. As she reached for the heavy garment, she recalled that each piece was chosen not only for function, but for comfort. The wool was a soft, natural fibre, dyed in a muted, earthy tone. The cloak was old, worn smooth, and familiar on her body. It felt like a second skin. Athena blinked and gave a little hoot in her soft voice, approving of the colour and fabric. Anya gathered a small pack, which held only simple necessities. She paused to look at a small smooth stone she found on a recent journey. She placed it in her pocket and smiled. She moved slowly to the door and let herself out into the golden glow of the late afternoon. The air felt cooler now and had a hint of moisture from the morning's dew. As she and Athena stepped into the sunlight, a sense of calm began to settle over Anya. It was as though the journey itself had already begun to provide the peace she sought. The surrounding trees, normally a source of comfort, now seemed to nod in agreement, their leaves rustling softly, as if whispering words of encouragement. The The soft sounds of Oakhaven, though still carrying a hint of worry, felt muted and distant, and so with a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Anya embarked on her quest, her loyal companion by her side, towards the promise of the crystal cave of calm waters, her steps as light and steady as the first gentle raindrops of a peaceful summer shower. Chapter 2. The Whispering Trail. Anya began her walk with a deliberate pace, matching her footsteps to the gentle rhythm of her breath. The trail that led towards the Whispering Mountains wound through a forest that seemed to breathe with its own quiet magic. Sunlight, filtered through the dense canopy of leaves, created a mosaic of dappled patterns on the forest floor. The air was filled with the soft chirping of unseen birds, their melodies a gentle chorus that resonated with the peaceful rhythm of the woods. The leaves, a tapestry of greens and golds, rustled softly in a light breeze, their sound like whispers carried on the wind, sharing secrets of the ancient woods. As she moved deeper into the forest, Anya noticed how the trees seemed to lean in, as if offering their silent protection. The paths were mossy, soft and comfortable under her feet. Her steps were deliberate and mindful. With each footfall she felt the ground beneath her. She noticed the subtle textures of the moss, cool and damp to the touch. She bent down to gently touch one of the mosses. She observed how one tiny moss formed a delicate world of green. There was a gentle silence that was broken only by the natural sounds of the forest. Anya's mind began to quieten with each step she took on the soft earth. Athena, her keen eyes ever watchful, glided silently ahead, her white feathers a beacon against the shaded foliage. Her presence was a source of comfort, her occasional soft hoots a gentle affirmation that they were on the right path. Anya found herself mirroring Athena's quiet grace, her movements becoming fluid and light, attuned to the rhythm of the woods. She observed how Athena would dip her wings as if to show her how to ride the soft currents of air. Anya felt herself do the same and lifted her arms, mimicking the movement as she inhaled deeply and imagined that she was floating as well. The sunlight, as it reached the forest floor, created a dazzling display of light and shadow. Anya paused at an opening and looked up to observe the way the sun seemed to dance through the leaves. There was a pattern, she noted, to the randomness, a calming geometry that felt peaceful to observe. She noticed how the light seemed to shimmer in waves and patterns, creating a calming visual ballet overhead. She took a deep breath, feeling the fresh forest air fill her lungs and bring a welcome sense of lightness to her chest. She allowed her eyes to close as she took a moment to feel the sun on her skin and the cool air on her face. She moved on, her steps growing more confident, her thoughts as clear and unburdened as the sky above. With each soft crunch of her boots on the path, she left the worries of Oakhaven a little further behind. She focused on the gentle rhythm of her walk, allowing it to be a form of moving meditation. The steady pace of her footsteps became like a metronome, a slow and comforting rhythm for her heart to follow. She felt her body relax into the movement, her shoulders dropping, her neck easing, and her jaw releasing. She reached a small stream, its waters trickling over smooth grey stones. She paused to listen to the soft sound of the water, its melody soothing her senses. The water seemed to shimmer with a silvery light. water was cold and refreshing. She noticed the soft current as it flowed around her hand and over the rocks. She could feel the gentle pull. She noticed a small leaf that had fallen from a tree. She watched as it gently floated downstream. She took a moment to observe the beauty of the natural world that surrounded her. As the afternoon wore on, the forest seemed to grow quieter, as if settling into a peaceful slumber. The shadows grew longer, stretching like soft fingers across the path. Anya continued her journey, her heart filled with a sense of calm anticipation. She knew she was getting closer to the crystal cave. The knowledge brought her a sense of ease. She allowed herself to imagine the waters ahead. She pictured them, shimmering and soft. She felt the calm that they could offer. The sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of soft pinks and oranges. The forest seemed to glow with a gentle, ethereal light. Anya felt a profound sense of gratitude, a quiet joy that settled in her heart. She breathed in deeply and breathed out slowly as she continued on, allowing the beauty of the forest to soothe her mind and quieten her spirit. The path, she knew, would take her exactly where she needed to be. Chapter 3. Entrance of Shimmering Light. The path began to ascend gently, leading Anya higher into the foothills of the Whispering Mountains. The trees grew more sparse, their branches reaching out like welcoming arms. The air grew noticeably cooler, carrying a faint scent of damp earth and minerals. Anya noticed how the light shifted. She could tell that they were nearing the mouth of the cave. The silence seemed to deepen, creating an atmosphere of anticipation. She could feel a sense of calm excitement. As Anya rounded a bend in the trail, she found herself facing a moss-covered rock face. Hidden behind a curtain of soft emerald moss was a dark opening, the entrance to the crystal cave. Anya paused, allowing her breath to deepen and slow. She felt a moment of quiet contemplation. She looked over to Athena and smiled. She felt a great sense of gratitude for their journey together. She knew that their journey had not been taken alone. They had walked the path together. With a gentle hand, she parted the moss, revealing the entrance to the cave. The air flowing from within was noticeably cooler and carried with it a faint, clean scent of minerals. The change in temperature was very pleasant. It felt like a welcoming embrace. As Anya stepped across the threshold, the sunlight faded, replaced by a dim, otherworldly glow. The opening was small, but as Anya moved further inside, it expanded to a large entrance chamber. The change from the bright sunlight to the soft darkness felt gradual and calming. The walls of the cave shimmered faintly, reflecting a soft, ethereal light. Anya looked around in wonder as her eyes adjusted to the dimness. She'd noticed the crystals embedded within the cave walls, veins of amethyst and quartz that seemed to pulse with a gentle inner light. The faint glow reflected on her face. It was a soft and calming light. Athena glided silently ahead, her keen eyes adjusting effortlessly to the change in light. Her feathers shone even whiter in the low light of the cave. She was always a comforting presence. Her soft hoot was very gentle and quiet as she made her way inside. The sounds of the outside world began to fade, replaced by a distant, gentle murmur. Anya listened closely, focusing on the subtle variations in the sound. She imagined that it was the water. It seemed to have its own calming rhythm. She noticed how the walls seemed to muffle any other sounds. The atmosphere was so quiet that she could hear her own breathing. It was soft and slow, and brought a calmness to her body. The cave seemed to breathe along with her. Anya moved slowly, her footsteps soft on the cave floor. Each step was deliberate, mindful of the quiet beauty that surrounded her. She reached out and touched a cool crystal, noticing its smooth texture and its gently pulsing light. It seemed to hum quietly in her hand. She allowed her fingers to glide across it as she felt a gentle warmth transfer. She knew that the cave was alive and receptive to them. She felt very grateful for the opportunity to witness such beauty. The path ahead sloped gently downwards, leading Anya deeper into the cave's embrace. She noticed that the light seemed to grow brighter as they moved further inside. She could see how it reflected and refracted on all the surfaces of the crystals. The gentle murmur seemed to grow slightly louder, beckoning her forward. She allowed herself to be led by her curiosity and the desire to find the source of the sound and light. Her heart was calm and open to all possibilities. As Anya and Athena continued their journey deeper into the crystal cave, a feeling of profound peace settled over them. The cave itself seemed to emanate a sense of calm, enveloping them in a gentle embrace. They were not separate from the cave. They were a part of it. The worries of Oakhaven seemed a distant memory, replaced by a quiet sense of wonder and anticipation for the gentle wonders that awaited them deeper within. With a slow and gentle breath, Anya continued on, allowing the cave to guide her. Chapter 4. The Chamber of Gentle Murmurs. The path opened into a large cavern, its walls shimmering with a soft, ethereal glow. The source of the gentle murmuring was now clear, water trickling and flowing over formations of amethyst and quartz, creating a symphony of soft, melodic sounds. Anya stepped into the cavern, her eyes wide with wonder at the beauty that surrounded her. It was a place of extraordinary peace. The water shimmered with an inner light, casting a soft, gentle radiance on the cave walls. The air was still and cool, carrying a faint, sweet scent, like rain on warm stones. Anya breathed deeply, filling her lungs with the calming air, and feeling the peace of the cave settle into her very bones. It was a profound and gentle shift. She noticed the water, and how each drop seemed to reflect the crystalline surfaces of the walls. It was as if each drop was a tiny star, shining in its own way. She noticed how the water had carved its own patterns in the stones, creating a unique path for every drop to follow. Athena settled on a high ledge, her white feathers a soft contrast against the purple hue of the amethysts. Her presence was a constant reassurance. Her gentle gaze followed Anya's movements, offering a sense of companionship. Athena softly hooted, her sound blending perfectly with the murmuring of the water. Anya smiled at her gentle friend, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over her. The animals knew how to live in the present moment. Anya decided to follow their example and allow herself to just be. Anya moved closer to the water, her footsteps slow and deliberate. She observed the water's movement, its gentle undulations, and the way it caught the light. The movement was smooth and rhythmic, like a slow and gentle dance. She noticed that the water seemed to breathe. She imagined that she was breathing along with the water. She felt a deep connection with the cave. She felt she was becoming one with the water and the cave. The murmuring of the water was more than just a sound. It was a vibration, a pulse that resonated with the quiet rhythm of Anya's heart. The low humming seemed to reach within her and gently unwind any tension that she was carrying. The music of the cave seemed to move through her like a soft, flowing current. She felt at peace, calm, and completely at ease. She decided to fully surrender to the moment. She sat by the edge of the water, allowing her hands to trail gently in the cool liquid. The water was incredibly clear, and she could see the smooth stones beneath its surface. The gentle movement of the water felt very soothing on her skin. She noticed how it would move around her fingers. She observed all the tiny movements of the water. It was like the water was inviting her to become a part of its dance. As she sat, she closed her eyes and focused on the gentle sounds and the soft, cool air. The murmuring of the water filled her senses like a natural lullaby. The scent of minerals and earth was very pleasant, grounding her in the present moment. She took a deep breath and felt her muscles relax. She allowed herself to sink deeper into the sense of serenity that enveloped her. She felt her thoughts begin to slow, like leaves gently drifting down on a soft breeze. The crystal cave of calm waters was exactly what its name suggested, a place of profound tranquility and peace. Anya knew that she had found the sanctuary that she sought, a place where the worries of the world seemed to fade away, replaced by the simple beauty of the natural world and the gentle rhythm of calm. She breathed a sigh of relief as she knew that this place could offer calm and peace to anyone who needed it. She smiled and opened her eyes, ready to discover the heart of the cave. Chapter 5. The Heart of Calm. Deeper within the cavern, Anya discovered a pool of water so clear it reflected the cave ceiling like a perfect mirror. The murmuring here was a soft, rhythmic pulse, almost like a gentle heartbeat. The light seemed to emanate from the pool itself, casting a luminous glow on the surrounding crystals. The atmosphere was one of profound stillness and peace, a place where time seemed to slow to a crawl. The beauty of the cave was breathtaking, and it held Anya completely in the present moment. Anya moved towards the pool with a sense of reverence, her footsteps light and careful. She knelt at the edge of the water and gazed into its depths, mesmerized by its clarity. She could see the patterns of the cave ceiling reflected perfectly on the surface of the water, creating a sense of infinite space. The surface was like a perfect mirror, reflecting the whole cave. She could see her own reflection and felt a sense of connection with the pool. She felt she was being mirrored by the cave itself. As she sat by the pool, the calming effect of the water washed over her, easing the tension from her shoulders and her mind. She could feel her body becoming lighter as her muscles relaxed completely. She breathed deeply, feeling the cool, still air fill her lungs, bringing a sense of lightness and clarity. With each exhale, she released any remaining tension, letting it go like a leaf on the breeze. She noticed how the light seemed to shimmer in waves on the surface of the water, as if it was breathing itself. She allowed herself to simply be, to exist in this moment of perfect stillness. She noticed the small details, the tiny ripples on the water's surface, the subtle shifts in light and shadow, the gentle rhythm of the murmuring. She touched the water again, feeling the cool, smooth liquid against her skin. She imagined the coolness reaching deep within her, calming and soothing her every cell. She felt herself be completely supported by the pool. Athena, who had been watching from a nearby ledge, glided silently to Anya's side and settled beside her. She gave a soft hoot, a gentle affirmation of the peace that filled the cave. Anya reached out and stroked Athena's soft feathers, feeling a deep sense of connection with her loyal companion. Their journey together had led them to this tranquil place, this heart of calm. She felt a profound sense of gratitude for their companionship. They had travelled the path side by side, and together they had found this incredible place. The gentle pulse of the water seemed to resonate with the rhythm of Anya's heartbeat, bringing a sense of harmony and balance. She allowed her thoughts to slow, drifting effortlessly like small clouds in the sky. The worries of Oakhaven seemed far away, distant memories fading into the background. She felt completely at peace, completely at ease. She knew she had discovered a place of true serenity, a sanctuary where she could find respite from the chaos of the world. Anya understood that the true magic of the crystal cave was not just in the water itself, but in the stillness, the quiet observation, and the gentle rhythms of nature that filled this sacred space. She realized that the peace she sought was not something to be found, but something to be cultivated within herself and within her surroundings. The experience of witnessing this beautiful space helped her cultivate the peace that was already within her. As Anya sat beside the pool, bathed in the soft, calming light, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. She knew that she would carry this peace with her always, a gentle reminder of the power of stillness and the soothing magic of the crystal cave of calm waters. She looked over at Athena, smiled, and gave a soft sigh. It was time to return to the world, but her heart and her body were filled with the peace and calm of this remarkable place.